I'd like to call this meeting to order. Time having arrived, I call this regular session of the Brockton Housing Authority meeting to order. It's 2 o'clock on Thursday, December 28, 2023. We are in the Mayor Bill Carpenter Executive Board Room at Manning Tower, 45 Goddard Road, first floor, Brockton, Mass. 02301. A notice has been posted at City Hall and on our website. This is a public hearing and all are invited to attend. Please note that the Brockton Housing Authority meetings are all recorded. I'm going to do a roll call for quorum. Timothy J. Sullivan is here. Ernest Pettiford.
Here.
Janet R. Trask.
Here.
Carol Roberts.
Here.
Taylor Harris.
Here.
We have a quorum of 100%. I was just going to recognize the board. The chair is Timothy J. Sullivan, vice chair Ernest Pettiford, member Janet R. Trask, treasurer Carol Roberts, assistant treasurer Taylor Harris. Some members are here, myself and Carol, and the other three are on Zoom. You are hereby given notice that the members of the Brockton Housing Authority are called to meet a regular session on Thursday, December 28, 2023 at 2 p.m. in the Mayor Bill Carpenter Executive Board Room, Manning Tower, 45 Goddard Road, first floor, Brockton, Mass. 02301. This meeting/hearing of the Brockton Housing Authority will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems erupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. The public is invited to view and/or listen to the meeting via phone, computer, laptop, or tablet. To do so, download the Zoom Cloud Meeting app in any app store or at www.zoom.us. At 2 o'clock on December 28, 2023, click on Join a Meeting and enter the ID number 857-6042-5577, passcode 183493, or use the link http://us/i/857-604-2557. You may also join by calling the conference line at 1-646-558-8656 at 2 o'clock on December 28, 2023, and enter the meeting ID 857-604-2557, passcode 183493, followed by the pound sign. The board chair will instruct participants on the appropriate time and manner for public comment during the meeting. Just going to read off the governor's COVID notice. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and state of emergency, on March 12, 2020, Governor Baker issued an executive order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. Pursuant to the order, public bodies are temporarily relieved from the open meeting law's requirements that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This memo was extended to April 1st, 2021, extended again April 1st, 2022, extended again July 1st, 2022, extended again July 15th, 2022, extended again March 31st, 2023 by Governor Charlie Baker, and extended again on March 31st, until March 31st, 2025 by Governor Healy. If we can all rise for a pledge of allegiance. If you can, please remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just wanted to wish the entire board a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, plus the entire staff. Item 1, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Here.
Commissioner Trask,
Yeah.
Commissioner Harris,
Here.
Commissioner Roberts,
Here.
and Mr. Chairman.
Here. Item 2, approval of the minutes of the special meeting of November 16th, 2023. Item A in the packets. Mr. Tebow.
I have reviewed the minutes and I have found them to be in order. I would recommend that they be approved as written.
So move.
We also need a second. Anybody?
Second.
Ms. Taylor Harris.
Yeah,
She
second.
seconded.
Okay,
Taylor did.
sorry, I didn't hear it.
Okay.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of November 16th, 2023 as written. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Because half of us are on Zoom, we have to do a roll call on every item. Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Trask,
Here.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
and Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 3, hearing of visitors. Any member of the public is invited to speak before the board. Visitors wishing to be heard must sign in with their name, address, and contact number before the start of the meeting. Each visitor will be allowed 3 minutes to speak on each subject. The board will take any issues under advisement and respond at a later date. Total time for the hearing of visitors will be limited to 15 minutes, which will be strictly enforced. There will be no passing your 3 minutes to another. All visitors can be heard on agenda items only. Are there any hearing of visitors?
Mr. Chairman, no one has signed in.
The iPhone?
There's one person not identified via Zoom on the iPhone. Would you like to speak?
Hearing none. Move to item 4, correspondence. Mr. Tebow.
Members of the board, there's one, a copy of an article that was in the Brockton Enterprise about the playground up at Washburn Heights, which is still doing exactly what it's supposed to do and bringing the neighborhood together for a nice, healthy place for the kids to play. So I wanted to share that with you. And I think we have a couple, Commissioner, yeah, you're in there, Commissioner Sullivan. We got Executive Director wearing a shirt that's too small.
So there's no action.
No, we don't need any action.
No action on correspondence. Item 5, approval of the bills of the regular meeting of December 28th, 2023. Exhibit B in your packet. Commissioner Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have sat down with Mr. Tebow to go over the bills. We found everything in satisfactory order. There were a couple of questions, but they were answered. So I put a motion to the floor to accept the bills as is.
We need a second as well.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to approve the bills for the regular meeting of December 28, 2023, as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Trask,
I can't do it fast enough. I'm sorry. Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 6, approval of 2024 HUD payment standard, Exhibit C in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I can ask Ms. Bonnie to speak on this, and Ms. Bonnie, we don't have a podium anymore, if you could sit at the table for a moment, thank you.
We have one now.
Good afternoon, members of the board.
Good afternoon.
Each year, HUD publishes the small area air mile for all the cities in the counties. Since we are an MTW agency, we now can set up the payment standard from between 80% to 150%. So in order to facilitate the participants to pay out housing. So with your approval, with the board approval, I would like to adopt, not I to say, but we would like to adopt the new payment standard effective January 1st, 2024. And if you have any questions regarding that,
Let me get the motion out first. We need a motion, item 6, from anybody.
So moved.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion that the Board of Commissioners, on behalf of the Brockton Housing Authority, adopt a payment standard as presented based on HUD's recently published small area fair market rents effective January 1, 2024. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
all right, wonderful.
No, we have to vote.
the vote.
Give me the roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carries
Thank
unanimously.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
almost like she wanted to get away from the table.
Yes.
You couldn't get away fast enough. Item 7, acceptance of resignation, Elizabeth Reardon, Asset Manager 3, Exhibit D in your packet. Mr. Tebow.
Elizabeth Reardon was the asset manager for Hillside Village. She has been with us for quite some time. She was a
Mhm.
clerk at Sullivan Towers for some time. We're sad to see her go, but she found another opportunity working in Boston. And we wish her the best. We are sad to see her go. This will give us an opportunity to take a look at how we deliver the asset management services for Hillside Village. There have been some concerns, so I think it gives us an opportunity to, with this opening, to do something there.
We need a motion and a second, item 7.
so move.
Second.
Taylor, was that you? Second?
I think it was Janet.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I haven't got used to the voice yet. A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion to accept with regret the resignation of Elizabeth Reardon, Asset Manager 3, effective December 15, 2023. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carries unanimous. Item 8, acceptance of resignation of Melinda Riccardi, clerk typist, Exhibit E in your packet. Mr. Tebow.
Ms. Riccardi, who worked in the admissions department, wonderful woman. It's very sad to see her go. She happens to live in New Bedford, and the New Bedford Housing Authority needed someone just like her, so they got her. But I know Tramita Rose, who is her immediate supervisor, enjoyed working with her. I had a lot of opportunity to work closely with her because of the fact that she would field all my questions regarding people who want to apply for housing and respond to that. So her last day is tomorrow, and we'll be sad to see her go.
Oh, she has perfect handwriting. Signature.
Yes.
We need a motion and a second, item 8.
So moved.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion to accept with regret the resignation of Melinda Riccardi, clerk typist, effective December 29, 2023. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Well, they moved around a little bit here. Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 9. Approval of the installation agreement with Eversource Gas Company, installation of new equipment, Bel Air Heights, project 24-2 in Rainbow Terrace, project 667-1A. Exhibit F in your packet, Mr. Tebow.
This is actually some pretty good news. It's been on my executive director's report for probably 6+ months now, that we were under a consent decree and we had to replace these meters and or take over the control of the gas distribution systems at these places. We've been working with Eversource, I believe that's their name now, the gas company. And they have come back with a plan, and they'll replace all the piping and put in new meters at Earl Street, Bel Air Heights. And I believe the cost for that is $258,186. I was warned that was gonna be over $1 million by the state. And they'll do it for $11,900 at Rainbow Terrace. So it will address the issues that we have as far as maintaining gas pipes. They're all old, 50 years plus, 60 years plus in some cases. We were told by the state that we either had become a master meter operator, a gas company, or change the way it's done. So I'm just very happy that they've come through. They've worked very well with us. Vinnie DeChristopher has worked very closely with their staff to walk the sites, and I hate to say it, it's $250,000 I didn't want to spend on gas pipes, but it's a deal.
It sounds it.
It's a deal, and it's gonna be done by them, professionals. It's a deal.
Just so you know, it was about a year ago. I have gas. Second floor has gas. And it's gas over one, and a gas fire. 1 meter. And it was inside the salt. They wanted it out,
Mhm.
which I was surprised, but they did everything.
They did it for you.
They cut the line, moved the thing outside. But 9 months later, they had a leak. They came back and fixed it. I could smell it. They come back and fix it. It was fine. No cost, zero.
We're very happy with this, and again, I've been hearing from around the state that they're getting a lot, the bills are a lot bigger.
I mean, it's expected now with all that stuff in, with the warrant, with all the houses.
Up on the North Shore, I think, yeah, absolutely. That's what this came about because of.
We need a motion and a second, item 9, from anybody.
So moved.
Second,
second,
Carol beat you, Janet. A motion has been made by Commissioner Tyler Harris, seconded by Commissioner Cal Roberts. Motion to authorize the executive director to execute the agreement between the Brockton Housing Authority and Eversource Gas Company of Massachusetts for the installation of the new natural gas equipment at Bel Air Heights Federal Public Housing Complex and the Rainbow Terrace State Public Housing Complex in accordance with the June 30th, 2022 notice from the Department of Public Utilities and subsequent consent order entered into by the authority. Any questions or discussion on the motion? What was the total sum? One was 250?
One was $258 and the other one is $11,000. And to be specific, it's $258,186 for Bel Air Heights, $11,900 for Rainbow Terrace.
Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries. Unanimous. Item 10, recognition of BHA staff behavior above and beyond expectations. Exhibit G in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
Members of the board, I bring this to your attention because every day working in the public sector, we're often criticized for what we can and can't do. We're criticized for taking care of low-income families. We're criticized for not taking care of enough low-income families. If we make a mistake, it usually ends up in a public forum. This is two fabulous, life-saving events. Robert Smith, maintenance mechanic aide, saved the life of a young boy going to the Davis School by performing the Heimlich maneuver on him. George Pagan, who is taking care of 318 units, noticed a dog running around that just didn't seem right. And instead of going about his day and doing his work, he said, there's something wrong here. Investigated and found a person who had had an apparent stroke laying on the ground and probably would have expired without calling 911. So it shows not only are they, and these, by the way, are two very talented maintenance mechanics. They know what they're doing. But they're also very good human beings, and I'm proud to have them as part of our team here at the Housing Authority. I want to recognize them in public.
yes, that's wonderful. And we know the man on the ground. We call him Mr. Grumpy, but nevertheless,
You can be grumpy, we'll still try to save your life.
still save his life.
Can we do anything for these guys?
Nothing has been done. If you'd like to recommend it, I know that the protocol has been to award them a day off with pay. You could do that.
I would think it was.
perfect.
For the case like I say. What do you think?
Second.
Well, she's seconding something. We haven't made a
We
motion.
have
Oh, I thought you made a motion to give a day off with pay.
No,
No.
not yet, Janet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we can do that if you want.
It's up to you. I'm sorry. I'd let you.
What were you saying, Tim?
I was thinking of a dinner. A dinner for
With
two
George? Mm-mm. I
No,
know my guys.
They'd rather have the day off.
how about a day off? with
Day
pay?
off with pay.
We need a motion and a second, Janet, on that.
Motion to give
A day off
these
with pay.
two gentlemen day off with pay.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to give the two people mentioned in item 10, Robert Smith and George Pagan, a day off with pay. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried.
who's
Unanimous.
the grumpy one?
It's a resident that lives at Caffrey Towers.
Yeah,
Oh, the resident is grumpy. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a little grumpy, him and the dog,
oh,
but you gotta love both.
I don't know if you noticed, item 11 has got 9 motions involved in it. So what we're gonna do is go like we did before, we did it last year. One person will make the motion, somebody will second it, and I'll read off the motion, all 9 of them. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Yep.
Item 11, approval of fiscal year 2024 state and federal operating budget, Exhibit A in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
Thank you, members of the board. Commissioner Harris, this is your first time going through a budget in the, at the board meeting. A lot of this is required by the department, the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. It has to be said a very certain way. We have obviously published this. You have the documents in your packet that backs up everything. I'm going to bring up on the screen the cover sheet that you have in your packet, and I'll use it to illustrate the budget. And so we'll be looking at all the budgets at once. Let's see. Let's see, multiple participants can share, one participant at a time.
I just wanted to say on these 9 motions, anybody can ask questions. If you want to wait till the end, write them down, and you can answer all 9 motions at the same time.
Can you see that screen with the spreadsheet on it?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay, thank you. Share screen usually gives me an opportunity, there we go. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So this is the sheet that you have in your packet, and it goes through, there are actually, I'm gonna shrink. I'm gonna shrink this. There are actually 13 different programs on this cover sheet. If you go across the top, you'll see local COCC, that's the Central Office Cost Center, AMP1, which is Family Federal, AMP2, Elderly Federal, and we Section 8 voucher. There are 2 new programs, Federal Section 8 Mainstream. The Federal Section 8 Mainstream is something we've done for years, but the HUD has said we have to have our own program and separate it out as a budget. The Section 8 Emergency Housing, that's, we got 31 vouchers to take care of homeless people during COVID. And that's a very distinct program. We have to do that. It's a very small program too, that's going away. Every time someone leaves the program, we can't release the people. There's our mobility program. Those are people who come and live in Brockton, and we administer the vouchers for others. The state program, which is all our state public housing. 689-1, which is at Edwina Martin House. 689-2, which is Tony DeVega House. Massachusetts Rental Voucher Program, and then local economic development is a small account we had tied to youth build, and local affordable housing, which is a scattered site programs around the city. Now, each month, and in your packet this month, you got a comparative, and on the left-hand side of that comparative is the columns that you are seeing here. There's page after page after page. The columns show you how much you approved in the budget, how much we actually spent, or how much we've actually collected, how far we should be throughout the year, and how far we are. On the top of this, you'll see the 3,000 numbers. That's all income. The 3,000 numbers are income. So you can see there's a lot more expense lines and income. But we bring it down and it shows you the total operating receipts as you go across. That income is supported by the exhibits that were in your packet. And so everything that's on this sheet has supporting documents behind them. You go down and then there's expenses. The expenses are broken down into non-utility expenses. As you know, utilities are very important to us. They're treated a different way. We actually make some money off our utilities. We break it into administration, tenants organizations and tenant services, maintenance, protective services. Those are the administrative costs. Then we have general expenses, our insurance, and I've given you some highlights on the insurance, what's happening there. We're doing all right, actually. Our benefits overall went up by 3.8%, and that's a line we're constantly watching. The retirement and the health insurance. I think Commissioner Harris, you're probably familiar with this in your business. and seeing how it is to wrestle with these type of benefits. But we've done all right there. Overall, our income has gone up substantially. We could just I think I have that here. We $1.9 million in additional income in 2024. I think that'll be a little higher. And our expenses have gone up by $1.2 million, which give us about a $700,000 buffer, which is, not a lot of money when you're talking about a $30 million budget, non-half budget. Half is housing assistance payments. There's another $37 million that goes to the Section 8 landlords. On the salaries, we've adjusted them by 2% as stipulated by the board contracts that you approved last year. The executive director's salary, I have requested a 1% increase in pay there, so there's nothing really significant there. Or unexpected, I would say. Overall, it's a fairly strong budget. If it stays like this all winter, we do well because the snow removal budget won't eat into a lot of stuff. If it snows like it did in 2015, you'll see us go over in our overtime budgets. You'll see us go over in some of our contract costs for snow removal, that type of thing. But I think it's a strong budget. We always, let's go on to the next page, go on to expenses here. We always do a very conservative budget. What I mean by that is we try to underestimate our income. This is a very conservative measure of what we think will bring in an income. We also try to give a pretty liberal estimate on our expenses. In fact, we think our expenses could be a lot higher. We submit deficit budgets to the state and to the federal government. And the message there is, look, we're not getting enough money. On the federal government side, they have a formula that says we should get so much money. And I think Michael Pacious might know this. I think once in the last 20 years, they've given us that amount.
Yes, yeah.
It's usually, 89% of what you need to run your authority or 92% of what you need. The state is nowhere even close, not even close. And I think Commissioner Roberts, you know that from being on Mass Union.
Yep.
So we do not want to lie to them and say, hey, we're getting plenty of money. We're saying that you want things fixed the way they should be fixed and maintained the way they should be maintained. These are the amounts. But again, there's nothing that very concerning to me here. We're looking to make a deposit to Federal AMP 2. This year we're looking to take a withdrawal from them to pay for the Campello high-rise development cost. I'm shifting that over to Mr. Barry's program next year. We've had quite a few conversations about that. So again, this is the summary of everything that we do. There are 13 actual budgets. We only have to vote on 9 of them. I'll answer any questions that you have, and then we can go through the voting.
Could everybody
much- how
take a minute on item 11? The recommended actions, if you number them 1 through 9, it's on 2 pages. So we know what you're talking about.
Okay. I just was curious with the flooding. You said we've lucked out with snow, but what about the various floods we've had? Has that?
So what Commissioner Trask is asking about, we had Campello 3 weeks ago, we had a significant flood. The bills haven't all come in for that, but that compared to our overall budget, that is not too bad. We might be talking $40,000-$50,000. Probably $40,000 or $50,000. So we're fine.
Okay.
It's not, if I had that expense at my house, I wouldn't be breathing now, but given the fact that it's 400 units and, that type of thing. I also want to just point out that we get a lot of money from rent. In fact, in our state program, much more is paid for by the residents than comes from the state government. In our family federal program, much more is paid by the families than by the federal government. And our elderly federal program the federal government pays a little more, because unfortunately, the elderly that we're, taking care of have very, very low incomes, a lot of minimum social security payments, SSI payments type things.
Did you get a chance to number the items? 1 through
Yes.
9?
Yep.
So we know what you're talking about? You can ask any questions as we're going along, or you can wait till the end, it's up to you. If, I'll read the motion off, somebody will just say so moved, and somebody else will second it. So we get through it as quick as we can. All questions at the end, or as you're going along. Item 1 in item 11, motion to approve resolution number 23-9. Resolution approving fiscal year 2024 federal operating budget project map 024-001-14-D asset manager project AMP1 as presented.
So this is when we say so moved?
Yeah, we need a so moved and a second. I'll read off the motion.
So moved.
Second,
Janet got it.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettiford,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carries unanimous. Item 2 in item 11. Motion to approve resolution 23-10, resolution approving fiscal year 2024 federal operating budget map 024-002-14-D asset manager project AMP2 as presented. We need a so moved and a second from anybody.
so move.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettiford,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 3 in item 11, motion to approve resolution number 23-11. Resolution approving fiscal year 2024 operating budget, section 8 housing choice voucher program as presented. Any questions? I need a second. I need a so moved and a second.
So
so
moved.
moved. Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettiford,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carries unanimous. Item 4 in item 11. And some of the, for the next 5 motions, the executive director's salary is mentioned. I'm not repeating myself, they have to be mentioned each time.
Okay.
Motion that the operating budget for state aided housing for the Brockton Housing Authority Program number 400-C for fiscal year ending 12/31/2024, showing total revenue of $1,702,000 and total expenses of $3,155,165, thereby requesting a subsidy of $1,324,165, and further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $217,000 for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval. We need a so moved in a second on item 4.
So move.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Motion carried, unanimous. Item 5, in subsection 11. Motion that the operating budget for state aided housing for the Brockton Housing Authority Program number 689-1 for fiscal year ending 12/31/2024, showing total revenue of $55,028 and total expenses of $66,028, thereby requesting a subsidy of 0. And further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $217,000 for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval. We need a so moved.
moved.
Second.
second,
Wow, they're getting quick. A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries, unanimous. Item 6, in subsection 11, motion that the operating budget for state aided housing for the Brockton Housing Authority's program number 689-9 for fiscal year ending 12/31/2024, showing total revenue of $34,200 and total expenses of $40,200, thereby requesting a subsidy of 0. And further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $217,000 for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval. Any questions or discussion on the motion? We need a so moved.
Motion.
Second.
so moved,
second,
Any questions or discussion on the motion?
If I could make one quick note, Tom Fluff just pointed out, it says 689-9. That is how it comes out of the Housing Assistance Finance Information System. Don't know why we refer to it on the budget as 689-2. But.
Yeah.
But it's the Tony DeVega house.
Here, we need a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, my apologies. Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sullivan.
Yes. Motion carries, unanimous. Item 7, in subsection 11. Motion that the operating budget for state aided housing for the Brockton Housing Authority, Massachusetts Rental Voucher Program for fiscal year ending 12/31/2024, showing total revenue of $179,000 and total expenses of $239,657, thereby requesting a subsidy of 0. And further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $217,000 for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
So moved.
second,
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries. Unanimous. Just so you know, that's the last time we have to mention the executive director salary. Item 8 in subsection 11, motion to approve the operating budget for the central office cost center for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, as presented. We need
so
a,
moved,
in a second.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Last one. Item 9. Motion to approve the operating budget for the Affordable Housing Program for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, as presented.
so
so
moved.
moved,
Carol beat you. Taylor.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
what is a mixed population resident service coordinator?
That's nice.
That's the next item on the agenda.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I'm going too far.
You're really jumping ahead.
I thought you said this is the last one, Tim.
No, it's the last one of those 9.
Oh, okay,
Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
If I could just add, I want to thank the board members for approving this. It's a very complicated budget. I spend all year working on it. I'll be working with Mr. Pacious and Ms. Holland on it also. But if you ever have any questions, please feel free. I'll come out to you. You can come in and I'll sit down. We'll go over with whatever's happening. Once a month, we're giving you the comparatives, which are right off this budget that you have seen. So I will tell you we will tell you where there are variances from the budget you've approved. And we'll tell you why there are variances also. So I know it's a lot of numbers. It can be overwhelming, and I appreciate your support on approving them.
Did anybody say questions till the end? Any questions, Ernie?
no,
Okay. They went pretty quick.
Good job, absolutely.
Item 12, acceptance of fiscal year 2024 funding for mixed population resident service coordinator grant. Exhibit I in the packets. People?
If I could ask Mr. Sheedy to speak on this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain, members of the board. Back in September of 2022, the board adopted a new action plan.
No, this is the
Oh, I'm
mixed
sorry.
population.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. I was all ready for that one. All right.
we want to hear about this mixed
Yeah, it gave me a
population.
hint that this was coming next too, and I still missed it. All right, the Brockton Housing Authority receives mixed population resident service coordinator. That's BMZ, Janet.
Oh,
The
Bamsey,
resident
Yeah.
service coordinator. The
Okay.
Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities has a grant that extends through 2028, I believe. We get no additional funding this year, but we do need board approval to accept the award.
you get a reward with no funding?
No, we're getting the same funding as last year. It's $60,000.
Oh, okay.
no extra.
No extra this year.
I got it, I got it.
Yeah, was for his salary? Is it?
It's part of it. It's part of it. It also goes toward the other coordinators. There's
Yeah.
4 or 5 of them.
This is just a bureaucratic layer that I don't understand. So we received this it's $53,700 since 1994. It's never changed. So obviously the value of that 53,000 goes down in real dollars. That's what we're getting this year too. But with this year is the first time in almost 30 years, we have to say, well, we want the program. And there's a hook to it. We have to do certain things to do it. So that, which is fine, we'll do them. But it's simply a bureaucratic step for a program that has been around almost as long as I've been here.
So it's one person that has this role.
Right, it's actually one part of a person. 53,700 would not pay for one person in benefits in today's market.
That's right.
And who's that person?
It's Fred. Fred is the one who fills that role.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Ready. So move.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Kraft. Motion is to accept the funding for fiscal year 2024 with population resident service coordinator grant administered by the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Right. Thank you, Dennis.
that's a weird term, mixed population resident.
It came about in 1990 because the legislature was addressing the complaints from the seniors when younger people were first introduced into elderly
Oh.
housing. That's mixed population.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like when drug addicts came and that sort of thing.
Well, we have had, there were elderly drug addicts too. But yes, it was the younger people coming and they had, younger people were living different lives and there was quite the turmoil back during the early to mid-90s over this mixing.
Somewhat still is.
Somewhat still is, as a resident member says.
We haven't
Item
fixed it.
14, approval of amendment to the Brockton Housing Authority Personnel Policy, Exhibit J in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could have Mr. Fluff speak on this issue, please?
Members of the board, this is aligning the titles in the personnel policy with the titles you just passed in the budget. That's all it's doing so that all our documents line up. So,
That's it.
We need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to approve the amended Brockton Housing Authority Personnel Policy as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried, unanimous.
thank you.
Item 14. Award of contract, Section 8 inspection, Exhibit K in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Fluff to speak on this also.
As part of the requirement for our housing choice voucher program, the Section 8 program, in order to spend the federal dollars in an apartment, the apartment has to pass inspection. We hire an outside company to do this. We've hired an outside company for years and years. We go out to bid on this. We do a request for proposals. The last time we had done it was 3 years ago, so it was time to do it again. This was one of the last procurements that Mr. Padula put out before he left. We had one company submit to do this for us. They're our current company. They're out of Tennessee. They work nationwide doing this. McCrite and Associates, they're very well versed in this. The other kicker here is that HUD is changing its inspection protocols this year. It used to be Housing Quality Standards. Now it's Inspire. National Standards, I can't remember. Inspection, property, real estate, something like that. So they're changing the rules for the landlords. We're going to tell our landlords about it, inform them that this is coming up and what the new rules are before we implement it in April. But this company has to be able to move along with HUD. And that's why these national companies are the ones that bid in all over the country. So they're very well versed. They do a lot of Massachusetts housing authorities, but they're also the only ones that bid in.
These people inspect every section eight property.
Every unit,
Every
yes,
unit.
every unit, yes. At one point, it was every year. We're gonna move to every other year, which is allowed by the federal regulations, and it will save us half the money that we spend on inspections.
It will also be much more friendly to landlords. And in a very tight market, we have difficulty getting landlords to come to us because they can rent to anybody, and they won't have the housing authority come in to do the inspection and tell them to fix things.
Okay. We need a motion and a second, item 14.
So moved.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to authorize the executive director on behalf of the Brockton Housing Authority to enter into a 3-year contract with McCrite and Associates for Section 8 inspection services in accordance with the price proposal attachment with the maximum contract amount of $500,000 for the contract period. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Don't just, is that $500,000?
3 years, it's a 3-year contract. We have about 2,000 Section 8 units. So over the 3 years.
No, it's 500,000. There's so many zeros, I didn't know if that's a million. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 15, award of contract, legal services for evictions, Exhibit L in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Cliff to speak on this, please.
We've always had 2 sets of attorneys doing our evictions because we do so many of them that it's hard for one firm to keep up. When Mark Gilday became a judge, the firm he had stayed on. That attorney then got a job with the city, working for the city clerk's office. So we really only have one firm. So we've hired another firm. Attorneys are exempt under Massachusetts bidding laws, but under the federal laws, we have to do what's called an independent cost estimate. Mr. Padula did that before he left. This firm is charging us exactly what the other firm doing our evictions is charging us, and they bid in 3 years ago. So it's a good price for us. They're a very well-versed firm. They do a lot of different housing authorities here in Massachusetts.
If I could just make one clarification. So we're in court, and we will be in court every Wednesday, but mostly for rent collection. It's called an eviction case. We do not evict many people. I just want to make that clear. Very, 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 very few people. So, but we spend a lot of money on attorneys to try to collect the money for people who aren't paying as well as they should.
And as Mr. Tebow, told you earlier, our tenant rent is a big portion of our budget. And we have to go to court to get them to have an agreement that they're gonna pay so that there's a little bit of teeth. Because if we make an agreement with them and then they don't pay, then all we can do is go to court and have the same agreement, so.
We need a motion and a second, item 15.
So moved.
Second,
Taylor, was that you? Second?
Janet.
Janet?
Oh, yeah.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Kraft. Motion to authorize the executive director on behalf of the Brockton Housing Authority to enter into a 3-year contract with Flynn Law Group, PC, for legal services for eviction as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 16. Appointment of Chief Financial Officer, Exhibit M in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Cliff to speak on this, right?
Members of the board, I'm very excited to present you, our candidate for, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Michael Pacious. Some of you know him. He was our Chief Financial Officer, previous. Then he left and went to Medford, where he had been before he had come here. He has his bachelor's in accounting from Bentley, many years of housing authority experience. And as Ms. Holland can tell you, who came from government but not from housing authorities are completely different. And housing authority finances completely different. And you saw the budgets that we have to go through and the reporting we have to go through. And so we're really very, very excited that Michael Pacious has agreed to come back and work for us as the Chief Financial Officer.
If I could just add to that, so, Mr. Pacious is a talented financial person. He knows our industry. But as important, and sometimes more important, is the type of person he is. We work under a lot of stress. There's always someone watching us, making sure that we do things right, and when we don't, they can be awful terse, especially if you're speaking about the Inspector General coming in, or HUD coming in, or whatever. And so that means you have to have a type of personality that you work with others, and Mr. Pacious has always been someone that I enjoyed working with. Wasn't always smooth. We weren't always just dealing with day-to-day business. There was some, turmoil, but it was nice to have him by my side, by our side, as we went through that and worked through it. So I'm excited about that, Michael. I don't know if he's gonna bill him. I already asked him a question before we hired him, so he might get it.
not at all, no.
But it's just a real pleasure for me to be able to say that, to recommend Mr. Pacious. And I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to having him be part of the team again.
well, welcome back, Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to come back and work for Tom Plouffe and Tom Tebow. So it's a very good thing. Thank you. And thank you for giving me this second opportunity.
We need a motion and a second, item 16.
So moved,
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to appoint Michael Pacious of Bridgewater to the position of Chief Financial Officer effective January 2, 2024, at the 2023 annual salary rate of $130,000. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried. Unanimous. Welcome back, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Michael, I don't have to go through the speech where we put the residents first. You heard it a million times.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Item 17, appointment of clerk typist, capital improvement department, exhibit N in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
Before I turn this over to Mr. Plouffe, Ms. Morse is here. I can see her up in the top right of our screen here. We've sort of put you through the double sessions here until your item came up for the agenda. Mr. Plouffe?
That's true. And I had, offered Ms. Morse the opportunity to come, by Zoom because, she's a snowboarder and she might have been at Sunday River this, week snowboarding. However, we were talking before the meeting, they've had rain and mud and the whole place has been wiped out and ruined, which is awful, so. But there's been a vacancy in the clerk's typist since Evelyn left to go work for the city. We posted on Indeed and with Mass Narrow and on our website. Selection committee of Chris Barry, who was on the Zoom also, and
Hello, Chris.
project manager Nancy Macedo, and I reviewed the resumes, interviewed candidates, and agreed that Ms. Morse could easily do the job as a clerk typist in the capital improvements department. You can see from her resume, she has a split career, a long history in business, working in the textile industry, working her way up, working as a manager. But she also had a career, went back to school, a career in culinary arts. And she's worked in many kitchens under high pressure. During her interview, we started talking about Gordon Ramsay and how much it was like that. If that was true, and she said sometimes it gets a little stressful.
So you're a good cook.
Yes, I think I am.
Ms. Morse is from Brockton, born and raised. She knows the city well. And we ask that the board appoint her as clerk typist in the capital improvements department.
I do also want to mention that in my conversation with Ms. Morse, we spoke about the clientele that we serve. And I know you might say something about that, Mr. Chairman. She has a very heartfelt story on that. I also like the fact that Ms. Morse is on her resume, lists the accomplishments. Every job she's gone into, she's come out and the accomplishments. She has 2 associate's degree and a bachelor's degree. I think she'll do very well here at the Housing Authority.
And she has a good heart. She takes care of animals and gives
Yeah.
soup to people who need it.
We need a motion and a second, item 17.
So moved.
Give it to who said it.
Are you the second, Carol?
I'll second it.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion to appoint Kimberly Morse of Brockton to the position of clerk typist effective January 2, 2024 at the 2023 step 1 rate of $44,376 per annum. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Peoples.
Commissioner Pettifat,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries. Unanimous.
Well, thank you very much. And I am looking forward to being a part of the team and helping find people their way as they navigate the system.
Welcome. Kimberly,
Yeah.
normally, we have a little bit of a spiel that we give to everybody who first starts here. And the spiel is, I'll make it brief. We put our residents number 1. And part of the reason is, if we don't have the residents, we don't need you, or they don't need me. We
Right.
need them. Any one
Yes.
of them can have a bad day and walk up here and ask you a question, like just don't snap at them,
Of course.
treat them respectfully, and they will retreat you respectfully. They're real good.
Yep.
Welcome
Treat people
aboard.
how you want to be treated.
We'll see you January 2nd.
Yes, I can't wait.
Congratulations, Mike.
Congratulations, Kimberly.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
We'll see you Monday morning, Tuesday morning.
Yep, you will.
In the kitchen?
That too.
No.
Item 18, oh, thank you.
Too bad.
Okay.
Item 18, review of financial comparatives for the period ending October 31st, 2023, Exhibit O in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Ms. Holland to speak on this?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Before you, you have the comparatives through the month of October. I'm happy to report that the financial condition of the Housing Authority is in very good standing. The central office cost center is currently operating at a surplus of a little over $747,000. Affordable housing program is operating on a surplus, a little over $270,000. AMP1, the family program, reflects a surplus in excess of $1 million. AMP2, the elderly program, reflects a surplus in the amount of $277,000. And the Section 8 program currently reflects a surplus in excess of $331,000. The state program has a surplus in excess of $128,000. And 6891 and 6892, they have a slight deficit of $186 and $1,600. However, we will rectify this as rent is received from the tenants, and we will be able to lift these two deficits to have them be in good standing. And the Massachusetts Rental Voucher Program is currently operating on a surplus in the amount of $25,339.
Wow, that's cool. Surplus everywhere.
Everywhere, yes.
I do want to,
Nice.
so just since we did budgets today, well, you guys can't see it, but if you look at the very first sheet, which is the central office cost center, property management fees for the AMPs, we expected $1,859,134. So far, actual to date, we have collected $1,570,000, which is $20,000 more than we've budgeted for the year. So this all ties, every line here ties back to your budget. And that's what we're telling you. Every month we come, we're saying, okay, we're doing better on the budget here. We're doing worse here. I can tell you, at times we're approving the budget to buy a truck or a capital improvement. It's a real bad winter. We might not buy that truck because we've used it somewhere else. A couple of years ago, one of the trash compactors broke and we couldn't buy that. So this is reporting back to you on your approved budget every month.
Excellent.
We need a motion and a second, item 18.
So moved.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion to accept the financial comparatives for the period ending October 31st, 2023, and put on file. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 19, Executive Director's Report. Exhibit P in your packet, Mr. Tebow.
Given the length of the agenda, I'm only going to mention one thing. On page 3, at the very last paragraph, I have noted that we submitted a one-stop application for the state's low-income housing tax credits that was submitted on November 16th.
Mhm.
We met with the staff at the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. And in my report, I said it is likely that they will not allow the application to move forward at the time due to the backlog of the low-income housing tax credits availability. That is true. They have said, look, we're backed up. We have a meeting with them at the end of the month. So we will go into a different phase right now. We're in line. We know we're in a line. We just don't know how long the line is gonna be. We now, when I say we, I include the board and everybody in the authority and our elected delegation, the mayor's office, anybody in Brockton need to say that we have a priority application. That the Campello high-rise, as Commissioner Trask mentioned earlier, was in jeopardy of being evacuated 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks before that, we had a gas pipe with a leak, and we didn't know what we were going to do there. The building needs to be addressed. We have a plan, and we have a budget. We're ready to put the shovels in the ground, so we need to put that forward. There is a line. There's a huge housing need. Governor Healy's looking to pass a bond bill. We are advocating with our legislature to pass that bond bill. We believe that will happen.
Mhm.
How much will go to affordable housing? We don't know, but that's where we're pushing, for our thing. So we did get notice that, you're in line, but you're not gonna be at the front of the line in this January.
Just one question, so we don't, these new names,
Mhm.
it's not GATT anymore.
No,
On that, the 9 items, we don't have to mention that.
No, you don't have to. That's the way they came through the computer system. So we went with the verbiage that was still in the HAFIS system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next year we'll probably change.
they'll
It
fix
may.
it.
Okay.
They're trying to change the entire housing authority
Authority.
financial information system. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
And I told you that Jay the Great was not there.
Yes,
He's
yeah,
there, you know that?
he's there as a spokesman, I believe,
Yeah.
public relations.
We need a motion and a second, item 19.
So moved.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion to accept the Executive Director's report for December 28th, 2023, and put on file. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yeah,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried unanimous. Item 20, appointment of affordable housing LIHTC asset manager, exhibit Q in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I can ask Mr. Fluff to speak on this, please.
Mara, this is you. That referred to as LIHTC, it's for low-income housing tax credits. It's something we're going to need through the Campello project. But right now, we have a vacancy in the property manager for the affordable housing department, the scattered sites. That was one of the budgets you voted on. It was the last one. Xiomara has been here through the whole meeting. She has her away thing on now. We've been interviewing, reviewing resumes, Mr. Sheedy, myself, Bruna Campbell, who used to hold this position before Ava Hewitt. We're very excited about Xiomara. She is a property manager currently with Trinity, has experience, is a certified occupancy specialist, which is the certification you use with the low-income housing tax credits. She knows Brockton. We were talking about Everett's Auto Supply the other day. Who's laughing about Everett's?
I love Everett.
Yeah.
You're muted, CMR. She learned a lot about growing up and helping her father take apart cars at Everett. So, she's not afraid of hard work. She's bilingual in English and Spanish. Being a property manager now, in our interviews with her, our discussions with her, is very evident that she understands the job. That, you know,
Yeah.
everybody has good days and bad days, and that we're here to help them maintain.
She knows real life.
Yes.
She knows real life. That very, very well put.
Yeah.
So what it says on paper and what actually happens is
Yeah.
two distinctly separate things.
Amen.
I also want to mention, I had the opportunity to sit down with Xiomara. I would characterize her as a person who is humbly confident. She knows what she's doing, but she's humble in the way she comes across, which is important when you're dealing with our residents and with others. She understands the importance of making coalitions and alliances with the organizations in the city to better serve our population and to work better with them. And I truly believe she has great growth potential here at the Housing Authority, and would recommend it without reserve.
Xiomara, do you mind if I share with the board what you're going to be doing at the end of January?
Oh, sure.
So even though she's gonna start with us January 2nd, she's going to have to be out for a month at the end of January to the end of February because she's donating a kidney.
Wow.
Oh,
Bless her.
So that takes a remarkable human being to
I've
be
never
able
met
to.
sure
any.
does. Sure does.
Yeah.
Trinity, is that on Summer Street?
No, it's it's not here, it's in the south end, but it's the one, the enterprise block, Trinity Financial, Keefe.
Jim Keefe.
The ones that developed that, not Trinity Village on Summer Street, Trinity
In
Financial that
in
owns
Boston.
the enterprise block.
Yeah, the big block.
Right. They're all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We need a motion and a second. Item 20.
So
So moved.
moved.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to appoint, is it Xiomara? Xiomara,
Xiomara, yes, sir.
motion is to appoint Xiomara Cauldron Rivera of Dedham to the position of Affordable Housing LIHTC Asset Manager effective January 2, 2023.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's 2024. That's my,
Oh, that's my mistake.
that was my mistake.
Oh, yeah, 2024.
January 2nd, 2024,
Yes.
at the 2023 step one rate of $57,421 per annum. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Just one, Samir. How long will you be out when you donate that kidney?
Just for a month, sir.
A month?
Hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, but it's just, they're planning for a month for recovery.
Wow.
Which hospital do you go to?
We're gonna do that Tough Medical Center here in downtown Boston.
Good, good.
Good hospital.
For you.
Thank you. And thanks to you guys for giving me the opportunity as well.
Any other questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you guys next week.
So Mira, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told the other people. treat our residents as customers. Without them, they don't need us.
Correct.
Anyone can
Yep.
have a bad day. You gotta overlook a lot of stuff here.
You're right, sir. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Happy holiday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll see you.
Happy New Year.
See you
Happy
on
New Year.
Tuesday.
Okay, see you Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Item 21. Approval of amended federal public housing admissions and continued occupancy policy. ACOP, Exhibit R in your packets. People,
I guess Mr. Sheedy drew the short straw here. He and, Ramita Rose have been working on this policy for months and months and months. It's a significant change to the way HUD expects us to do business. It's under the Housing Opportunities Through Modernization Act. And we are required to get this in place, even though they're not ready to effect the act. With that, I'll ask Mr. Sheedy to speak on the item.
So this is a comprehensive policy that Ms. Rhodes and I have been working on, as Mr. Tebow said, for a long time, and I think we're both very happy to put it in front of you and hopefully get it off our backs. So if all goes well here in the next couple of minutes. It deals with everything from admissions, the application process, all the way through tenancy. You'll have transfers, verification of income, it goes on and on. It's very, very detailed. Commissioner Roberts was in my office this morning. I showed her the old one compared to the new one. The old one's about 40 pages, and Tramita and I could have bumped that off in probably 6 months, I bet you. It does take into effect the big changes, Housing Through Modernization Act, Violence Against Women, Limited English Proficiency. These are all major components of it. The old ACOP did touch on a few of these briefly, but it's very, very more detailed, much more detail orientated right now.
If I could add to that, although it's a lot of work to put together, the old policy would say refer to 24 CFR 925.
Yeah.
0.66. Then you go read the regulation and you say, what does this mean? And then you try to interpret it while you're sitting with a resident explaining the way we work. That has been done now. So it's broken down into better English. I won't say it's great, more readable to say. So if someone says, hey, how do we do this? You can open up the book and say, this is what we do. What do you accept for pay stubs? Well, we accept 4 pay stubs or 6 pay stubs. And it's right there in the book and we go through. So it is, although it's huge, we have a very similar book like that for the Section 8 program. When you do get into questions of how do we operate, it's more clear. You'll never get all the answers answered because people are different. There's so many different circumstances, but it anticipates a lot and it also is compliant. 90% of it is you accept our money, you will do it this way. All right, VAWA, Violence Against Women Act. You must have certain policies that address violence against women and how you deal with it and how you communicate that to your residents.
Well, will that be put in a PDF file so to be on policy?
We will put it on the website.
Yeah, so you can download it, so, yeah.
one question, though. Item 1, the hot mark. Yeah, what is the old one? What's the old one?
Opportunity, Housing Opportunity Through Modernization Act.
It's not on here.
Yeah, it should be.
It's opportunity.
So Mr. Sheedy is the one who taught me what hot must stood for. So.
And then I messed it up. But I knew Inspire when Mr. Plus.
But it's a major act, and it's the problem that it was passed in 2016. They planned on rolling it out in 2020 and over a period of 4 or 5 years. They're now trying to do it all at once. It's causing all sorts of problems with software providers who can't keep up with the changes. But it is, again, as far as the policies go, there's nothing in the policy that I think is objectionable. It is so that we are very clear in how we run the program and we're in compliance with the regulations.
Okay.
Okay.
We need a motion and a second, item 21.
So move.
Second,
I got Taylor on that one, Janet.
that's fine.
Motion to approve the amended Brockton Housing Authority's federal public housing emissions and continued occupancy policy as amended, effective December 28, 2023. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 22.
Good job, Tallulah.
Approval of amendment of family self-sufficiency action plan. Forfeited escrow funds, exhibit S in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Sheedy to speak on this, please.
I'd have had this all done if you'd let me go a few minutes ago.
You can do it now.
September of 2022, the board did adopt a new action plan for the family self-sufficiency. And part of that was forfeited funds. Forfeited funds is when a participant doesn't meet their goals and their escrow amounts comes back. It used to be under the old policy, it would come back to the authority. Under the new policy, it has to benefit a participant in good standing. Sometimes these forfeited funds can be rather large, several $1,000s. And currently the policy only allows us to distribute $300 at a time. It's too restrictive for us to be able to pay that forfeited escrow down. HUD would like to see us spend it down to zero, and we'd never be able to do it at that rate. Many times we get requests for transportation. They want to get their car fixed so they can get to work, or they may need a new computer for their education and stuff like that. So we would look to reword that so that we could give the participant the money that they request.
so it's like a special needs fund?
Yeah,
No.
You have to apply.
So, yeah, but it would be, because there is some discretion here, and we're looking to use the money. So we could use it, by the way, if we wanted to start a class for people to become bus drivers, let's say. We thought that was a family self-sufficiency and we were paying, but people to go to training for it. Mr. Sheedy just gave you an example of someone who might lose their job because they can't fix their car and they don't have enough money in their escrow account. That would be something we would look at. Our job is to get them to the end, to whatever their goals are. And as many people anybody who's had a young child and is working at the same time, there's many things that can just put you off the rails. A car is one, you know, you have to have good credit. Dental bills can kill you. You know, if you're gonna, and we see so many people don't take care of their dental, you know, the needs because of this. So there's many, many different things that can come into it.
So can it help pay for adult learning center, things like language
yes.
things?
One question, Dennis, how many people are in?
Currently, we have 75 in the Brockton program.
75? Wow.
That's good. And are you the director of that?
Jacqueline Malloy is the coordinator, with Angela Sally is the aide, but they fall under my department.
I see. So it's helping people get ahead, basically.
Yes.
We need a motion and a second, item 22.
So moved?
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion to approve the amendment to the Brockton Housing Authority's Family Self-Sufficiency Action Plan as presented for the authority's Family Self-Sufficiency Program. Any questions or discussion? on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 23. Approval of certificate of completion consolidated and certificate of release community room HVAC replacement, Caffrey Towers, project 24-7, exhibit T in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
I see Mr. Barry's here. Chris, do you have this exhibit or would you?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Okay, I'd like to ask Mr. Barry to speak on it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Capital Improvements Steam Enterprise Equipment Company Incorporated of 276 Libby Parkway, Weymouth, Mass. Complete as of December 17, 2023 for the 24/7 Caffrey Towers Community Room HVAC Replacement Project as per the specification. Capital Improvements also confirmed that the construction work meets all applicable codes, and Enterprise Equipment Company has completed the punch list items. We would recommend to approve the certificate of completion consolidated and certificate of release as of December 17, 2023 from Enterprise Equipment Company of 276 Libby Parkway, Weymouth, Mass.
We need a motion and a second, item 23.
so move.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion to approve the certificate of consolidation and certificate of release as of December 17, 2023 for the contract with Enterprise Equipment Company Incorporated of Weymouth for the Community Center HVAC replacement at Caffrey Towers, project 24-7. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
Oh, we have heat.
Finally,
Thanks for the heat.
Yeah.
hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 24. Approval of amendment number 2, Architect Services, Section 18, Campello High Rise, Exhibit U in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
So if before I ask Mr. Barry to speak on this, back some time ago, this board approved a contract with Dietz and Associates at Architecture for the Campello High Rise. At that time, we were looking at renovating the 2 towers, and we had an estimated budget of about $90 million. After going through the feasibility study, we realized that we could not do the renovations and end up with a product that we thought was good for our residents. And we couldn't invest in the B building because it was in the floodplain and couldn't use low income tax credits. So we changed to new construction, the buildings that we've been speaking about. The budget on that, we have got down to about $180 million. So it's twice the amount of work that we were originally doing. Amendment 1 was going from Dietz. Remember, we said we don't think Dietz could do this. We're now with BWA. We are very, very happy with BWA. Their principal, Steve Baker, has been fabulous in cost cutting and making suggestions on efficient ways to do things. He is an MIT grad with decades of practical experience with a great staff. So then we asked Mr. Barry, sit down with him and negotiate a contract, which Mr. Barry does very well. I'll let him speak about that and where we are on that. But I do want to say, we will not spend this money until the project goes ahead.
Yeah.
They know that. The reason we want to do this is I want to put BWA, and he knows this, Steve Baker, on the hook to stay with the Brockton Housing Authority through this entire project. I don't want to have to go to another architect who says, hey, I don't understand what this one has done, whatever. So I think it's in the best interest. And I use this because Mr. Barry is going to come up and now ask for a bunch more money. I give you the
Great, thank you. Again, some time ago, we had made an assignment of the contract over to BWA, changing from the comprehensive renovations to new construction. We also we've taken the self-help building as well to help us basically build a minimum 2 buildings on the property with the 2 buildings existing stay in place. There's still some back and forth as to when we actually take down our high rises once we moved them out. Obviously, we will not do any demolition of any building until everyone has come and got their own new place to move. We have again been in discussion with BWA. BWA has offered a number of different options for their fees. And how we can reduce it, but by the way they were reducing was not pricing the entire job out. We wanted to make sure that up front we knew what we were getting into, what the dollar values were going to be. And again, we were back and forth a number of times. The construction again has been delayed, as Tom just mentioned, but we have to somehow put a date together and move forward with this construction itself. This amendment provides the construction documents, bidding, construction administration, and closeouts for the multiple phases of construction. Right now, with the duration of this schedule is 40 months, with a start date of January 1st, 2025, and a completion of April 2028. The amendment 2 increases the design fee by $3,186,600, which is 5.3% of the total construction budget of $180 million. We again feel that this is a very fair increase. It's in a line, it's actually lower than what the state DCAM would actually put out if they had a project of this size as well. We would recommend to approve Addendum 2 to BWA Architects Incorporated in the amount of $3,186,600 for the phased construction of 3 new buildings, and the budget change from $90 million to $180 million at the Campello High Rise Section 18 project. I'll take any and all questions.
We need a motion and a second, item 24.
So moved.
Janet, can you hear us?
Sorry, I said second, but I was still muted. Sorry.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to approve amendment number 2 in the amount of $3,186,600 to the contract with BWA Architect Incorporated for the phased construction of 3 new buildings and a budget change from $90 million to $180 million for the Campello High Rise Section 18 project. Any questions or discussion on the motion? This board don't mind for the motion.
I have to, I'll do the roll call, but I was surprised. These numbers are huge. And when we went into the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities and spoke with this woman by the name of Kate Racer, she floored me when she said, "Oh, you've got the best price I've seen in months." So these are big numbers. They are what I consider astronomical numbers, but we have done a good job to get them where we are. It's not the world we're used to working in, but hopefully it's the world we will, because that's what we need to make sure that the buildings are sufficient to be here, not only in 10 years, but in 100 years.
Everybody was going to.
So we had a motion and a second. We have, Commissioner Trask has, gone offline. But we can still go through with the vote.
Is that on the item?
No, that's not.
Okay. Can you give her a call? Tom? We're gonna do a roll call. We have the motion and a second, item 24.
Commissioner, Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner, Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried. If we can get a hold of her, we can make it unanimous.
And let's see. Hello, Janet. She's having, her phone is by internet also, so she must be having internet problems. This would be the same as if she had to excuse herself to go to another meeting.
Okay, the motion carried.
Thank you.
Item 25, old business. Any old business? Hearing none. Item 26, new business. Any new business?
We do have Commissioner Trask. Are you online now, Commissioner Trask?
I'm on the phone, but I'm not online.
On phone, I'm sorry, on the line, the phone line.
Yeah.
Okay, we're now on new business.
Okay, so I'm the only one that got lost?
You are the only one who got lost, yes.
Oh. Okay.
Janet, what, the vote on that, the $180 million?
Yep.
Did you want to vote on that?
Yes.
Okay. So that becomes unanimous now.
Okay.
Item 24.
Okay.
And Janet, item 25 is old business. Do you have any old business?
No, just a good Christmas party.
Item 26, new business. Any new business? As Janet Trask is on the phone. Item 27 is adjournment. We need a motion and a second. Don't leave. We gotta do a roll call.
Okay.
We need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. The motion is to adjourn this meeting. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
No.
Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carried, unanimous.
Happy New Year. I know, Commissioner Harris, I know you're, I'm sorry.
Meeting.
Go ahead.
I apologize.
Okay.
I know you're anxious. This is our longest meeting of the year. Usually.
I'm on vacation this week, so it's fine. Work